Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Would you do roll call?
Sir. Commissioner Cardenas.
Present.
Commissioner Sue.
Here.
Commissioner Douglas.
Present.
Vice Chair Kirkpatrick is absent, and Chair Chelf.
Here. Thank you very much. You want to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Place your right hand over your heart. Ready to begin?
Thank you for doing that. Approval of the order of the agenda. I will approve that. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Blue folder items.
Yeah, tonight you have an item for 10B, 3 public comments. I'll just need to receive and file for that.
Okay, we will receive and file.
Motion, second.
Everyone,
I'll make a motion to receive and file blue folder item.
I'll
okay.
second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay. Are there any public comments not on the agenda? Okay, hearing none, we'll move along. Consent calendar, 7A, approve affidavit of posting for the Planning Commission regular meeting of April 15th, 2025. 7B, approve the minutes for the March 18th, 2025 Planning Commission meeting.
Make a motion to approve items 7A and 7B.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Great. Consent calendar items, I see none. Public hearings on items continued from previous meetings, none. New public hearings, we have zoning case number 24-121. This is for 6 Quail Ridge Road. Stephanie, are you giving us an overview on this?
I am, yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, good evening, honorable commissioners. Good evening, honorable commissioners. I'm here to present the project for 6 Quail Ridge Road North. It is zoning case number 24-121, and it is for a site plan review and conditional use permit. This property is zoned RES2. In the RES2 zone, the minimum lot size is 2 acres. And where's my little pointer? Oh. The property is zoned RES2, and in the RES2 zone, the minimum lot size is at least minimum 2 acres. This is a vicinity map right here, and as you can see, it's probably not as clear, but as you can see that this is the subject property right here. It's clearly away from all neighbors. It doesn't obstruct any views or have any impacts on any of the adjacent neighbors. And this is an aerial photograph of the property. This is Quail Ridge Road North right here. It's access. This is actually Crest Road West, so it's accessible from Quail Ridge Road North. It's at the very end of the cul-de-sac on Quail Ridge Road North. A little bit of background. So the net lot area is 197,064 square feet. It is 4.5 acres. The building pad area is 22,983 square feet. There is an existing single-family residence that was built in 1956. It is 3,227 square feet. There is an existing 877 square foot attached garage, a 650 square foot pool. There are 258 square foot attached covered porches and a 96 square foot shed. Okay, so the project is for a site plan review. The applicants applied for a site plan review for an addition to exceed 999 square feet. Also, the site plan review is for a grading and driveway expansion and for a wall to exceed 3 feet height, because the maximum height for walls are 3 feet. And this wall is 3.4 feet. and also a conditional use permit for a cabana to exceed 200 square feet. So there's an existing 877 square foot garage that will be converted into living space. It's going to be converted into a new family room with a guest and study, bathrooms, laundry and storage. And then the southeast corner of the main residence will also include an attached two-car garage. So that's also part of the site plan review. The existing covered porch will be demolished, and the main entrance will include a 383 square foot covered entrance. So the total square feet for the additions is 1,260 square feet, and the Rolling Hills Municipal Code requires any additions that are more than 999 square feet require a site plan review. The total grading for the project is 272 cubic yards. And also, there's the site plan review for the driveway as well. The project complies with all of the development standards in the municipal code. It doesn't encroach into any setbacks. It meets all of the, it doesn't exceed any of the structural lot coverage. It's well below all the minimums. 3.44 for the structural, less than 20%, well below 20%. Flat work, 6.37, well below the 15% flat work. And 9.81, which is well below the 35 maximum. Disturbed area is 19, the maximum is 19.91, way well below the 40% maximum. Building pad coverage is total is 6,409, which is well below the 30% maximum. So it does, comply with all of the development standards in the municipal code. The total, like I said, the total grading for the project is 272 cubic yards, which is 136 cubic yards of cut and 136 cubic yards of fill. The maximum square footage area for the cut is 5,235 square feet in area, and then the fill area is 6,530. All of the dirt will be graded on site. Part of the fill will also be used on the north portion of the lot. And I know this morning, Brad, you had asked this question, if the fill in the north portion right here would have any effects on the topography. I reached out to the engineer, and he said there would be minimal effects on the proposed fill right here. This area will be cleared, and then they will fill it. So they're just gonna maximize that 2-to-1 slope right there. It's still 2-to-1, but it'll just be.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Okay, sorry about that. And then this is the driveway expansion right here. There's no changes right here to the existing driveway apron. This driveway extends about 210 feet in length. It's about 15 feet wide. The proposed changes are for the driveway expansion located at the southeast portion of the driveway, right here. The new garage, right here is the location of the new garage. So this is where the existing garage is. So the existing garage is right here. This portion of the house will be converted into living space. 800, it's currently a 3-car garage, and then this will be turned into habitable space. So they're proposing a brand new garage on the corner of the residence right here. And since this garage is impedes onto the existing driveway, it cuts into where the existing fire turnaround is. So the whole reason for the for the driveway expansion is for the fire truck turnaround. So this total motor court area is 4,360 square feet. That's the red area. This part right here, which is 1,065 square feet, this part will be removed. So it gives this driveway a little bit more of a roundness here at the top. And the grading, this is the portion where the grading is. So this motor court section right here will be expanded out 585 square feet. And this small green section, which is going to extend the existing driveway, widen it for the access, is 320 square feet. The grading for the driveway expansion is very minimal, and it matches the natural contours of the existing grade. These are elevations. The new attached garage maximum height is 13 feet, 2 inches and a quarter. And then the new entryway, is it on this slide here? Sorry. Entryway. Okay, so these are the elevations. The existing architecture will match the new proposed structures will match the existing architecture. This is the cabana. It's a 514 square foot cabana. And the maximum height of the cabana is 10 feet, 6 inches, 6 and 3/4 inches. Community communication, April 15th. For that meeting, the project was noticed in the Daily Breeze on April 5th, and public hearing notices were sent out to every property owner within a 1,000-foot radius on April 5th. Field trip meeting this morning was at 7:30 a.m. There were 4 commissioners present. Staff presented the project and walked the site. There were no concerns from the public attendees. And the planning commissioners directed staff to draft a resolution, which has been included. And as to date, staff hasn't received any public comments or concerns regarding the project. And the project is determined categorically exempt. So our recommendation is to open the public hearing, receive public testimony, provide direction to staff and the applicants, and like I said, resolution 25-03 has been drafted and is ready for adoption. And if there are any questions, the architects are also here to answer any questions.
Great, thank you very much. Do we have any questions? Okay, I have a couple of questions. For clarification purposes, you said that the retaining wall was 3.4 feet. Now, that's the highest point.
The highest point.
The average for that is what?
2.5.
2.5.
Yes.
Okay. And then that retaining wall is only on the lower portion of the driveway, correct?
Right, where they're doing the grading.
Yes.
There's retaining walls all around that, where the expansion is, but only that portion where the grading is.
Yeah.
That wall, the maximum height is 3.4.
Okay, and for clarification purposes, they're requesting it to be expanded down there because the fire department
Right.
mandates that because they need to turn the fire truck around.
Right.
Okay, and then final question, the ridge line you had indicated for the garage, but you didn't indicate the ridge line for the house. Are they the same?
I believe it is the same. I thought that I had that in there.
Okay. And if you don't have the answer, I can ask the architect,
Yeah, you can ask the architect.
but when I open it up to the public. That's it. So, thank you very much. Okay, at this point in time, I'm going to open it up to the public. If you'd like to speak, please come up to the podium, state your name, so we can get it for the record.
Should I turn this here?
Sure.
All right. Joe Spear, architect. Should I begin?
It's all yours.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you for coming and seeing it this morning. And thank you for seeing it tonight. I appreciate it. I appreciate what you guys do. So thank you very much. Let me answer your first question first. Eileen, what's the, oh, you circled it right there. Okay, so the height of the garage is 13.9.5. The existing ridge height is 15.9.5. So, yeah, of course. So that's question number one. And then, yes, just to confirm, as far as, you know, the reason for retaining, it is solely for fire reasons. We wouldn't have done it for any other reason besides fire. The genesis behind the project in general is to kind of beautify the front of the home by adding, you know, a kind of a more prominent entry. And then the other reason is for expansion for a growing family. So basically, the old garage is being converted into residential square footage, and then the new garage is built to replace. And that's the purpose of that. And then as far as the cabana, there is currently no covered outdoor space in the rear, and so this would supply that. And that's basically everything. And then Tara wanted to kind of come up and speak for 60 seconds, if that'd be all right.
Yeah, real quick before you go, and it's not our purview, but you're going to probably have some discussions with the architectural committee on your ridge lines and
Yeah.
your jagged edges and things like that. So just be prepared.
I'm actually on the RHCA, but already I'm having those discussions, and we may be coming back for another change.
It wouldn't surprise me. So
I've been known to make some of those same comments, so.
it's bad when you criticize yourself, but I mean, that's up to you.
The reason why it is the way it is, instead of being connected, is for fire. The driveway that comes all the way up and down, we were told if we add any more coverage, that we would end up having to redo that entire driveway, which is why it's kept small. And then the reason why it's located where it is for backup space in order to prevent us from having to redo a bunch of other site work around there. But we may need to change all of that depending on what, you know, the rest of the RHCA committee says.
Yeah, we see a lot of remodels, additions come in here, and at the
Yeah.
end of the day, after they're finished, they look like a remodel and an addition because of ridge lines and all of that. So
Right.
just, I don't want to tell you your business, but we see it again and again and again, and the end product is not what you are looking for. So
Yeah.
anyways, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, I met you mostly, I think, all this morning, but just wanted to thank you and kind of introduce myself. So I'm Tara Schimmel, and my husband Mike is traveling right now, or he'd be here to say hello and thank you as well. I think you guys met Jackson and Leo this morning. So we have a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old. And we are excited to be here. I actually grew up in Rolling Hills on Pine Tree and have been wanting for many years to come back. And we were away for school, and my husband actually is from Maryland, so we kind of both were always hoping to get back here, and we moved back 4 years ago, and happy to be part of the community. And yeah, we also hope to create something kind of beautiful. The house itself is beautiful, but hope to make it even more beautiful and enjoy living here for a long time. So thank you guys for your time.
Well, welcome to the
you.
city. You're going to love it. And I have 3 kids, so I understand a big house, you can get away from the children. So it's a plus.
That's the, yeah, right now we send them to the garage, but that's why we're like, we should actually make it an official living space.
Yeah.
So,
Well, thank you.
thank you.
Anyone else like to speak? Okay, so we'll close that, and we will have a discussion amongst the commissioners. Who would like to start?
So I'm good with the rationale behind the retaining walls, the grading, based on fire requirements, the additional space. it's only 200 over the counter approval. And with the location of the cabana, it's not in anyone's sight lines or view back there, so I'm in favor of what they've done.
Okay.
I like what they're doing. It seems like it was very responsibly thought of. I have no problems with it.
That's what I was gonna say. It just seems like it fits with the house and the neighborhood and drawing family, and I have no problems with it.
Okay, great. Well, since you made the motion this morning, why don't you
I'll
make it now?
a motion to approve 24-121 as presented.
Second?
Okay, you want to do roll call?
Sure thing. Commissioner Cardenas,
Approve?
Commissioner Sue, Commissioner Douglas, Chair Shelf.
Yes. Thank you very much. Good luck with the Architectural Committee.
Thank you very much, we appreciate it. We may see you next month.
Unfortunately, we will be here.
And who was
Thank
the
you.
seconder on that motion?
You did the second, right?
I did the second, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the next one is zoning case number 24-043. This is for, what is this for? 6? Yes. Now, I understand we have an issue with this?
Yes, good afternoon, Chair Chelf and Commissioners. This morning, the Planning Commission met at a field trip at the site, and based on the stakes that were located there, as well as a presentation presented by staff, it was brought to our attention that at the time in which this item was publicly noticed, and after seeing this morning's, the stakes, one component of the public notice, which is required to be identified, was not noticed properly. And that was specifically as it relates to the grading of the property itself. Because of that information that was discovered at this morning's field trip, it would not be appropriate to have a discussion on this item until the item itself is appropriately noticed and identifies all the specific components that are required as we ask for items to come before the Planning Commission. However, I do want to bring to your attention that because we did attend the field trip and there was plenty of conversation and feedback, it will be important and essential for our staff to be able to connect with the applicant themselves and their consultants as it relates to this site, so we can at least share the feedback that was presented this morning. But because of the noticing not being in compliance with what we traditionally do, this item cannot be heard this evening. And staff will work, again, as I mentioned, will work closely with the applicant and their team to ensure that their comments are heard, but also that it is publicly noticed accordingly. And I don't know if I missed anything with our city attorney? No?
Covered it.
So, couple of questions then. Since it wasn't properly flagged and notified, I'm assuming that means we will go back out and have a new field trip, which will give everybody the opportunity to see it again, but will also, it'll be more informative because it'll show elevation heights, grading heights, all of that. Second, I know we can't talk about it this evening, but I would recommend that now that the folks that were there this morning and did see it, reach out to the city folks, continue to give the city your thoughts, your impressions on it, and then they can give that feedback back to the owner, and because it's all helpful. You know, again, everybody working together, it will develop a better project in the end. So I'm sorry to drag you guys out tonight and then not be able to talk about it, but at least you can continue to have communication with the city and give them your input. So I guess we will discuss it next month. So, sorry, and thank you guys for coming.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, so what do we got left? 10C. Consideration of an ordinance amending Chapter 17.16 of the Municipal Code regarding the height limits of single-family residence, homes, stables, and barns. Would you like to give us an overview on that?
Yes, sir. So Chair Shelf and members of the Planning Commission, the item before you has been brought to you on 2 different occasions. The first time was in discussion, as recommended and requested by our chair, to bring up and discuss heights for structures, but also for stables and barns. The item also came back on March 18th after conducting further research based on the initial conversation that was held on October 15th, 2024. At the March 18th Planning Commission meeting, a lot of discussion ensued, and part of that discussion included placing a height restriction on structures. For structures, it was decided to have a 18 feet maximum, and for barns and/or stables, not to exceed 20 feet. Based on those conversations, staff was able to draft an ordinance that addresses these 2 components. I do want to draw attention to the Planning Commission that there are a few words that are highlighted in the staff report that may not necessarily be highlighted in the ordinance itself. But I do want, if you can, look at the ordinance itself and flip to page of your item, page 142. And specifically as it relates to section 5, height limitation, letter A. The language that you will see that will be added on is underlined.
What
And
page
it's,
is this?
it says page 141, height limitation, letter A. It goes into page 3, which is 142 of the packet itself. Sorry, I may have confused you. I
No,
apologize.
I got out of the car and dropped my folder, so it's all out of order, so.
So I wanted to highlight the language specifically as it relates to the discussion that ensued on, in March. The general limitation, letter A, a building or structure shall have no more than 1 story, meaning that there shall be no story on top of another, except as specified in the subsection B below. The area that I'm about to read out loud is language that will be added to this ordinance. The maximum height permitted from, including word finished floor, as you noted, is not included in this sentence, to the highest peak of the structure shall be no greater than 18 feet, except that the maximum height permitted for the stables and barns shall be no greater than 20 feet, measured from finished floor to the highest peak of the structure, exclusive of accessory architectural features as determined by the city. The language that I just read out loud will be the new language that will be included into the ordinance as it applies to heights for structures and barns and stables. This evening, Chair Shelf and Planning Commissioners, we're asking you to review and consider this ordinance as presented. If you have any additional language you would have seen differently, we can make those modifications and adjustments this evening. I do like to add that at this time, if it is successfully passed this afternoon, staff has it tentatively scheduled to go before the city council on the first meeting in May, if I remember, based on the appropriate noticing. And if there are any significant changes as it relates to the height limits, if you decide to change it lower or higher, we will have to bring it back before the Planning Commission and publicly notice it if you make any alterations to the heights. So Chair Shelf, that actually concludes my presentation. Myself and staff and the city attorney is here present to answer any questions you may have, and that concludes. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Are there any questions from commission? Okay, well, I think we had a great discussion on it last time around, and I think we're ready to make a motion to approve it, and so you can put it before city council.
Okay, I'll make a motion to recommend that city council adopt ordinance number 386 with the addition covered in the discussion today, adding finished before floor in section A twice.
Okay.
Great. Fantastic. You want to do a roll call on this one?
Commissioner Cardenas,
Approve?
Commissioner Sue, Commissioner Douglas,
Approve.
and Chair Shelf.
Yes. Thank you very much. Okay, do we have any old business? Do we have any new business?
We do, Chair, if you don't mind. I wanted to introduce to you our city attorney, Nick Papajohn. He is here joining us this afternoon. As you all know, that Michael Irving has been sitting in as a city attorney for the Planning Commission, but he is currently on paternity leave. Congratulations to him. Sometimes sad for us, but good for him. But I do want to take a moment to introduce to you our city attorney, Papajohn, who will be joining us until he returns, but also of note, he'll be also helping us out at the city council meetings as well. So this is our commission and our city attorney.
Send us his contact information.
Absolutely. Sure.
That would be great. Welcome, I
Great.
appreciate your guidance in shepherding us through our meetings, so thank you.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. Any other new business?
Nope, that's it.
That's it, okay. Are there any field trips? I'm assuming, well,
Yeah.
We'll have that one, and also 16 Caballeros.
So for
Okay.
the record, 16 Caballeros and Chuck Wagon. Potentially, possibly.
First one be, do we know?
It'll be 16 Caballeros will be first.
okay, so 7:30 at 16 Caballeros. Okay. Any items from staff?
None at this time, sir.
Any items from the planning commission? Okay, I am adjourning the meeting until Tuesday, May 22nd, 2025 at 7:30 at 16 Caballeros. Huh?
May 20th.
Is that what I said? May 20th?
May 20th.
Okay.